All right. We about to go ahead and get into it. This your boy right here, Regular Joe or Retro Dro. I'm gonna talk a little boxing today. About to make a quick little video about Deontay Wilder. This is gonna be a reaction video because I have seen something that is very pretty much disturbing. But I'm gonna go ahead and get right into it. Let's go ahead and talk about it. So Deontay Wilder is about to have another fight with Joseph Parker. Joseph Parker is a very dangerous opponent. He has stayed active, especially for a heavyweight this year. I believe Joseph Parker have had at least two or three fights this year, which is very active. I looked at his current record, and so this is a pretty much another dangerous fight that Deontay Wilder is basically taking. Now, this is what I don't like about this already. So you get all these guys that's basically saying that Deontay Wilder doesn't have a chance. I believe Tyson Fury has basically said that Deontay Wilder is going to lose this fight. I believe that I guess I'm about to look at Joe Rogan. This what this video about to be, but it seems like that Joe Rogan has basically making a prediction that's saying that Deontay Wilder doesn't have a chance in this fight as well. Uh, and I just think it's kind of odd that these people is basically writing Deontay Wilder off. Now, this is what I don't like. People is entitled to their opinions, and they could be entitled to their opinions as much as they like. But what I don't like about it is when Deontay Wilder actually knocked this guy out, or if Deontay Wilder actually wins this fight, they're gonna call the guy a bum, which would be discrediting Deontay Wilder. So they would still have this stigma of Deontay Wilder not fighting anybody, even though Deontay Wilder just fought um Tyson Fury three times, and he also fought Luis Ortiz. So he fought Tyson Fury to a draw in his first fight, and he lost the last two fights. So Deontay Wilder only had two losses on his record. Deontay Wilder is a washed up bum. It's not like Deontay Wilder have 6 or 10 fights and 10 losses on his record or something like that. Deontay Wilder still have um, the highest ratio of knockouts pretty much almost of all time. Not even mistaken. Not this is not even like a non-factual statement. So to sit up here and say that Deontay Wilder doesn't have a chance to win this fight, I think is absolutely ridiculous. But like I said before, people is entitled to their own opinion. I just want them to keep that same energy if Deontay Wilder beat this guy. Because if Deontay Wilder knocked this guy out, there should be no excuses. And if Anthony Joshua beat the guy that he supposed to be about to beat, because Anthony Joshua he doesn't have like a slouch neither. I believe both of these fights is very dangerous for Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua. But if Anthony Joshua beat this guy, Deontay Wilder get past this guy, it should be no excuse for that fight not to happen next. I mean, I don't want to see Deontay Wilder fight anybody else besides Anthony Joshua at this point. I believe it's ridiculous for them two not to be fighting. They should have fought when they pretty much when the fight was at its peak. I believe the hype of that fight was a few years ago, and I believe if they both win this fight, I believe that the hype would be there, the money would be there, the fight will be there. This fight is on the zone, so that means that Deontay Wilder doesn't have a problem with fighting on the zone. Since the PBC is not pretty much, keeping its hold on Deontay Wilder is no more. I believe boxing is not going to be on Showtime anymore. So there's nothing, there's no obstacles that's preventing this fight from happening. There's absolutely no excuses. Um, I don't really want to go through the history of this. I'm really going to basically look at this video. I want to see what Joe Rogan really have to say about this, and we're gonna go from there. So we're gonna go here. We're gonna go ahead and talk about this after. But I really just want to react to this video. I haven't heard what Joe Rogan said yet. I'm only going off of what other people were saying. So I don't want to pretty much judge this video beforehand. So this is a live reaction video.
Ask your doctor about Nubeqa.
Deontay Wilder will be fighting Joseph Parker on the Supercard on December 23rd, and pros are putting their predictions in. Barry McGuigan definitely thinks that this is going to be a tough fight for Deontay Wilder, but he still thinks he has the power to finish this if he gets the chance. Barry stated, "I think this is a really tough fight for him. Joseph Parker's a very good fighter and has a good chin. Andy Lee's a very good coach, clever tactically. So this is a much tougher fight than I think Wilder imagines it is. But he's got that equalizer and you can never write him off. He can knock you out in the first round and the 12th round, and that's the most exciting thing about him. This is not an easy fight. Parker's got a great chance." Ade Oladipo had his own thoughts on the matchup.
By the way, Joseph Parker Wilder, yeah? It's weird, when that was made, it was like, oh, Wilder knocks him out. I'm like, dude, Wilder's had one round of fights in 2 years. Joseph Parker, yes, the level's not been Wilder, but this will be his full fight. So I'm not sure about that one.
Carl Froch likes this fight, but he knows that this is really just a money fight in the end. Carl stated, "I think Wilder does do the business against Joseph Parker. Joseph Parker is always a capable fighter. He's got that loss to Dillian White. He's been in a couple of close fights. Obviously, Anthony Joshua's already beaten him. I would expect Deontay Wilder to probably beat Parker in style, knock him out. Parker won a couple weeks ago, a decent little win. He spends a lot of time with Tyson Fury, and he's training with him, so he's capable, and he's only 30, so he's young enough to still come again. But at this stage of his career, this is a money fight for him, and a fight that he's probably not going to be expected to win." Deontay Wilder has been training with Malik Scott, and his hits sent Malik all over the ring. Tyson Fury was nice enough to give Parker the one piece of advice he thought anyone would need in order to beat Wilder, and he stated, "I can give him a tip, stay away from the right hand. That's as good a tip as anyone needs when fighting Wilder. I like Joseph. I don't have to get mad at him and find things to come at him with. You already know knockout. In my head, I'm looking at 3 to 4 rounds. In my head, I see that. But you never know. But in my head, that's how I've got it going. I'm not going to force anything. I'm just going to do what I do best. But in that fight, it's going to be a knockout." Showbiz. The adult spoke more about the power and speed of Deontay's right hand, and he definitely believes that he's a knockout artist.
Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder is an all-time great heavyweight. The Anthony Joshua fight made me realize it. Let me tell you, AJ is a better fighter than Wilder. But I'm looking at it like, can he avoid the right hand? Nobody can avoid a right hand all fight. Not just that, Wilder has a very fast right hand. Nobody talks about his hand speed. And he's a knockout artist, meaning that there's skill to knocking you out. We've never seen a fighter like Wilder ever. Julian Hart Jackson, maybe Mike Tyson, if he hits you, knocks you out. But Wilder is a knockout. He's different. The X factor is extreme. Yeah. How is it that you have a fighter where the op can't get touched or else the fight can be over? I never heard of anything like that.
Joseph Parker
We've been honest about that. So let's keep looking at that. Let's keep looking at this because Showbiz is he usually kind of a Deontay Wilder hater, so I think it's kind of crazy that he's being honest about Deontay Wilder's hand speed. That's like the first time I honestly heard him. He probably said it in one of his other videos because I mean you can't deny it after the third Tyson Fury fight. But this is like the first time that Showbiz have ever been honest about Deontay Wilder's hand speed. So, you know, I mean, kudos to him, but Deontay Wilder have always had that hand speed. so, so for him to basically try to make like it's something new is crazy.
Parker's promoter David Higgins definitely thinks that Parker has what it takes to knock out Wilder though, and he gave a few other examples of similar fights. David stated, Simon Keane was a big guy, and Joseph knocked him out with an uppercut. It was his third victory this calendar year, and Wilder will be the fourth. We like the momentum Joseph has. Any heavyweight can knock out a heavyweight. Joseph has got over 20 knockouts on his resume. Wilder has got a punch, one of the biggest in history, but Joseph does have some advantages. He is the better boxer. He's quicker. Wilder may have a massive punch, but outside of that, he's not as well developed as Parker. It's a winnable fight for Parker, if he brings his A game. Yeah, I do believe Parker can KO Wilder. He put Chisora down a few times with the uppercut. It's all about connecting with a well-timed punch. Of course, he can knock out Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder definitely thinks that his fight should be the main event of the night because he's seeing it ending with a dramatic knockout. Deontay stated, I requested a flip of the coin, maybe at the presser. I think that would be a good promotion. I think that would spice it up a little bit. This is not a Joshua show. This is not my show. This is all of our show. The thing about it is that I want the best for all of them. I want things to happen where the excitement is going to be. We know that between Joshua and Otto Wallen and me and Parker, which one do you think is the most exciting? And I feel the most exciting fight should be the main event. At the end of the day, when people come to fights, they want to see knockouts. They want to see excitement. Women lie, men lie, but my numbers don't lie. I have a more chance of knocking my opponent out than Anthony Joshua does and bring the excitement. The last thing that people want to see and go home to, a dramatic knockout, and then you leave. Meanwhile, Joseph Parker has been training hard on his own to put on a show for the fans and beat Deontay.
I mean, I don't see any of that doing anything with. Um, I mean, I don't know. I really don't. I really just don't understand the hate that Deontay Wilder get. These guys really just. It just seems like to me. I mean, whoever this guy is right here, he really just don't know boxing. You know, that's pretty much all I could say about it. Because I mean, I don't understand on how you saying that. Um, Joseph Parker is a good boxer. Not taking anything away from Joseph Parker. He is a great boxer. But for some reason that these people believe, because somebody is a knockout artist, they believe that they are not good boxers. Deontay Wilder is training with one of the best heavyweight boxers in the world, as far as technical skill. Malik Scott is one of the greatest heavyweight technical boxers at his time. So the technical aspect, even if you want to say that, Deontay Wilder has that, and Deontay Wilder have always had a good jab. He always been a very good boxer. That's how he's able to get that right hand in. It's not like, oh, well, Deontay Wilder is one of those wild boxers. Deontay Wilder throw very straight, strategic punches. He's just not like a robot. Deontay Wilder is very athletic. He's very energetic. That don't mean none of that means that he's not a good boxer. I think these people just don't understand what boxing actually is. They don't understand what boxing is. Boxing is about connecting. So, and if you look at Deontay Wilder's punch stats and you look at Deontay Wilder when he actually do fight through rounds, Deontay Wilder don't get hit a lot. It's only when Deontay Wilder get fatigued or hurt that's when he get hit a lot. They looking at the Tyson Fury fight, but they forget in the second fight, Deontay Wilder lost his equilibrium when he got hit over the head so many times by Tyson Fury. And they forget in the third fight, the reason why Deontay Wilder got hit so much was because Deontay Wilder had to carry Tyson Fury during the whole fight. Tyson Fury actually, you know, gained more weight, and you could say whether it's on purpose or not, but Tyson Fury gained more weight for Deontay Wilder to carry him to the fight and basically leaned on Deontay Wilder the whole fight. And Deontay Wilder was still able to beat him in the first part of the fight and pretty much knock his ass on the fucking floor the second part of the fight. And it wasn't until Tyson Fury actually knocked Deontay Wilder out. A fatigued Deontay Wilder, by the way. That's just like you fighting Yokozuna and you got to carry Yokozuna the whole fight. Of course, your arms is not going to be able to just punch this guy. It's not like they fighting in the UFC and Deontay Wilder could trip, slam him, and beat him on the ground. It's not like they in the UFC. That's why I like the UFC because you can't really play those type of games. But they're boxing, and it is what it is. I believe Deontay Wilder should have came a little bit more prepared, but still can't ignore the fact that Deontay Wilder was clearly boxing and was outboxing Tyson Fury by punching to the body, sticking the jab, and still was able to knock Tyson Fury out in the second part of the fight. That's pretty damn good. It was only by a miracle that Tyson Fury actually got up. And when I mean miracle, I mean the referee pretty much counted to like 20. So So all this Deontay Wilder can't box shit, they need to cut that narrative out because Deontay Wilder clearly proved that he can box. It's just ridiculous to keep saying that. So all of that, they need to cut that out. Especially like trying to compare him to Joseph Parker. What is we looking at, man? Now look at him work the bag, and look how Deontay Wilder was knocking Malik Scott all over the ring. This bag is barely moving. Come on now. Deontay Wilder is throwing soft jabs, and Malik Scott is falling all on the ropes. They think this dude is about to go in there and box with Deontay Wilder. Is these people crazy? He bet not go in there thinking he better run the whole fight. That's what he better do. Joseph Parker better run the whole fight. Because if he get touched, his ass is hitting the floor. It's just bottom line. I got this fight going. I got this fight not going past the third, and I'm saying it. Regular Joe is saying that this fight is not going to go past the third round. Deontay Wilder is about to knock his ass out either in the second or the third. I'm calling it. The second or the third, he's going to knock Joseph Parker on his ass, and Joseph Parker is not getting up. I mean, these are just facts. So I'm calling it. Deontay Wilder is knocking him out in the third. Let's go ahead and finish this video, man.
Deontay Wilder said that this fight is going to be payback for events that happened or didn't happen in 2017, though, and he stated, "I think after coming to one of my fights in my hometown, he decided to not give me that opportunity, so I am going to consider this a little payback. I have a little something to get off my chest, but once I release it in the ring, after that, we can all go home, be with our families and shake hands. I know one of his strategies will be to stay out of the way of the right hand. The main thing about it is going to be enjoyable to be in the ring with him. He is going to come and try and pressure me, but I am going to get you, and when I get you, good night." Joe Rogan and Terrence Crawford think that Deontay is going to bring an immense amount of power to this fight too.
Deontay hits so hard, it doesn't even make sense. Yeah. He hits so different than everybody else. The Helenius fight, he was like moving back, and he went like that. Blah! Yeah, that dude just shut off.
He blessed with dynamite in that right hand.
Like nobody before.
Nobody.
Like nobody. In the history of the heavyweight division, we have some giant punchers. Ernie Shavers, George Foreman, Mike Tyson, but I put Deontay at the top of the heap.
Right. I think Deontay Wilder, man, he hit you a couple of times with that right hand.
Yeah.
If you ain't Tyson Fury, you going to sleep.
If Deontay manages to beat Parker and Anthony Joshua manages to beat Otto Wallin on the same night, it would line up a potential fight between Deontay and Joshua, and Oleksandr Usyk has already put in his thoughts for that super fight. Usyk stated, "It would have been a phenomenal match. Wilder's unique. If he clips, one is unable to fight back. I'm going with Wilder on 60% for the contest. He's a puncher, and Joshua could be set on. Deontay's able to send someone flying when he touches them. They usually have the flight." According to Deontay, it was Joshua's management that kept them from fighting this whole time. Deontay stated, "It's his management that have held him back from fighting me because, he's a fighter. It's been over 6 years, waiting for the fight to be made. But there comes a point in time where you're like, forget it. Many times he wanted to fight. He wanted to accept it, but his handlers didn't want it because Joshua is the moneymaker for the company. And if he goes down, so does the business." If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe and
I'm glad that Deontay Wilder didn't put all of that on Anthony Joshua because these is, all facts. But I think Deontay Wilder is pretty much trying to play into the oh well, I'm not going to get on Joshua. I'm not going to put the blame on Anthony Joshua. Because he still want to get the fight. So I think that I think that's pretty smart what Deontay Wilder is doing with that because that's what I recommend how he should play it. I wouldn't put any blame on Anthony Joshua, but this is the fight. But here's the facts: Anthony Joshua pretty much called Deontay Wilder out when he pretty much said if Deontay Wilder get the $50 million in a contract, he will fight Deontay Wilder. So Anthony Joshua was the one. He knew he was the man. This is after he beat Klitschko. We all know the story. We don't gotta keep going over that. Deontay Wilder said something to Anthony Joshua. He pretty much called him out first. I'm not going to say that Deontay Wilder wasn't talking about him, but Deontay Wilder was talking about Anthony Joshua. He was talking about the fight. He would say he was interested in it. He called Anthony Joshua out. Anthony Joshua basically replied or responded by saying like, "Hey, if you get the contract, and get me $50 million, we can make the fight happen." Now, since Anthony Joshua at the time was the A side, that's how you start the fight. That's how you start a negotiation process, right? If a fighter, a champion, such as Deontay Wilder, Anthony Joshua had the other belts. Deontay Wilder had, I believe, the WBC belt, the belt that Tyson Fury have right now. So Deontay Wilder had that belt. Anthony Joshua pretty much had like the rest of the belts. Um, well, he was a unified champion at the time. So Anthony Joshua had all the clout because he just beat Klitschko. And also Anthony Joshua is the man in the UK, so he have an entire country behind him. And he have an entire company behind him, which is the Zone and Eddie Hearn and all of them, yada yada yada. So Anthony Joshua is the A side. So Deontay Wilder can't just sit up here and make terms about any types of contracts. And Deontay Wilder, knowing this, to say, "Well, I'm interested in a fight. If you want to fight me, come on." Basically antagonizing Anthony Joshua. And Anthony Joshua pretty much talked out of his ass and said, or he jumped the gun and said, "Well, I will fight Deontay Wilder for $50 million," which that's what a fighter is supposed to do. That's how you're supposed to act as the A side. And I'm saying this because this is what Tank Davis should do. Tank Davis should set terms and say, "Hey, if this guy want to fight me, this is what I want in order for me to make the fight happen." Because you are the A side, you are the more popular fighter, so therefore you could set terms for the fight. These is my terms. This is what we're gonna bring. This is what I'm bringing to the table. What you bring it to the table is the terms that you want to set as the A side, and it's up for the challenger or the B side to accept those terms or negotiate better terms for himself. So Anthony Joshua pretty much said, "Well, hey, this is what I want, and I want to see a contract, and we're gonna go from there." So Deontay Wilder went, and we all know the story. Deontay Wilder went to Al Heyman or whoever, and they said, "Okay, we can make this fight." Deontay Wilder went back to Anthony Joshua and said, like, "Hey, listen, we got the money for you. We can make the fight happen." And here we go. Eddie Hearn and his management team, and along with Anthony Joshua, we're not going to sit up here and try to play like Anthony Joshua wasn't with them, wasn't saying the same shit. Eddie Hearn and all of them pretty much said, "We don't got a contract. We don't see the contract. Where's the contract?" All this, pretending, all the lies, all the nonsense, all this happened. We all know this happened. Um, and the fight didn't happen. We waited 6 years and the fight still did not happen. Well, remember, Anthony Joshua was the one that set the tone. He was the one that basically said, "Hey, all I want is $50 million." We all know the back and forth that was going on right after that. All of a sudden, they was basically saying Deontay Wilder didn't have the $50 million or whatever. Even though Deontay Wilder pretty much stated that, hey, listen, the people that's behind me said they have the money, they could get the money for Anthony Joshua. These guys did not even want to come to the damn table. Then these guys started for years. I'm talking about for years, talking about we don't see a contract. We don't see a contract. Even though behind the scenes, these guys are sitting here talking to each other behind the scenes. So Eddie Hearn was the one that Eddie Hearn. That's just these is all facts. And I'm gonna say this: Eddie Hearn and them was the ones that started this across the street nonsense. This is before Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence. This is before even right now Devin Haney and Tank Davis. This is before all of this stuff was going on. Eddie Hearn started that. Eddie Hearn and Anthony Joshua started this nonsense with the bringing negotiations for everybody to see. They the ones that started this. Eddie Hearn could have basically negotiated this contract when Anthony Joshua told Deontay Wilder to get the $50 million. So everything should have been behind the scenes from there. Eddie Hearn decided that he wanted to run his big mouth on the YouTube media, basically um, saying this and that about things that was supposed to be going on behind the scenes, telling telling everybody that Deontay Wilder is lying. Number one, number two, Deontay Wilder ain't they don't see a contract when I guess when they confirmed that the $50 million was there. Then they went on and said, "Well, we don't see a contract. I mean, how can we start a fight? How can we negotiate a fight without a contract? But why is you telling the media? You should be telling them. You see, Eddie Hearn started that. So we're not going to sit up here and keep on pretending that this is this started with Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence and them. No, Terrence Crawford, Bob Aaron, and all of them took that page out of Eddie Hearn's book. I mean, you could say Bob Aaron kind of did it before Eddie Hearn. So, but but far as what's going on right now, that's where it started. It started with Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua, a fight that we still have not seen. Look, remember, bro, this fight was supposed to happen before Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence. Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence was an afterthought. This fight was way bigger than Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence, in my opinion. Not even in my opinion. This fight was way bigger than Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence. This is fact. Eddie Hearn ruined this fight because he decided that he wanted to tell everybody what was going on behind the scenes and lie about it. You know, so I believe that they didn't want Anthony Joshua. I think Anthony Joshua spoke out of tone, and I probably believe that Anthony Joshua was a little bit naive too. I believe that he thought that Deontay Wilder wasn't going to be able to get that money. And once Deontay Wilder basically answered the challenge, they said like, "Hey, we had the money for you. Look, come on, let's make the fight happen." I think that that's when Eddie Hearn them panicked and they went into a frenzy and and all this and that. So Deontay Wilder is telling the truth. I believe that he's basically trying to give like he's telling the truth, but he's telling like a half truth. But I understand why Deontay Wilder is telling that half truth because he's trying to keep um Anthony Joshua relevant enough. He don't want to make Anthony Joshua to look like a coward, or he don't want to make Anthony Joshua look bad or anything of that nature. Because for some reason, when Deontay Wilder beat people, they bums. They ain't fight. He ain't fight nobody. Everybody Deontay Wilder beat or get in the ring with, they bums. But then when somebody beat Deontay Wilder, they're the greatest fighter in the world. Tyson Fury is the greatest heavyweight in the world now because why? Because he beat Deontay Wilder. You know, somehow Deontay Wilder is a bum, but when somebody beat him, they're the greatest fighter in the world. So it's just it's just ridiculous, bro. So the hate is real for Deontay Wilder. But that's just that would be the end of the show. I'm sorry for the stuttering a little bit. It's just I get so I'm trying to like keep my composure with this because I get so pissed off every time I think about it, bro. because I've wanted this fight for years. I've been arguing with idiots about this for years, and it's kind of like bringing me back to when I actually did talk about boxing and go on some of these channels and talk to other people about this fight, and and have to listen to the nonsense people have to say whenever hey, why can't this fight happen? I used to literally go on. I think this guy name was Beats or something when he still got his channel. I used to go on this guy fight, and this guy used to say he used to come up with every excuse in the book and say to not let this fight happen. Deontay Wilder, he's just not ready. He's just not ready. No, 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 no. He's not ready. Deontay Wilder should fight. He should fight. Then Deontay Wilder fight this person. No, no, he's not ready. He's not ready. He should fight Luis Ortiz. Wait a minute. Luis Ortiz is supposed to be fighting Anthony Joshua. Ain't Luis Ortiz supposed to be fighting Anthony Joshua? No, no. I think Wilder should fight. Like, why can't Wilder fight Anthony Joshua then? If Wilder is going to fight Luis Ortiz, why can't he fight Anthony Joshua? And when Luis Ortiz is supposed to fight Anthony Joshua? Oh no, 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 no. Deontay Wilder haven't proven himself. No, no, no. See, this is why I hate the A side B side talk. This is why I hate that. You got all these fake managers on YouTube, all these so-called businessmen on YouTube. These, and then you look at these guys is living in their mama's house or they sitting in the basement somewhere. You see what I'm saying? Like these guys is big time boxing promoters or something. None of these guys had any clue on how to run a business if their life depended on it, but they want to sit up here and tell you about $1 million business. These guys all think they Mayweather. That's why I said I hate that Mayweather. I hate that Money Mayweather came out that even existed because all these idiots think they Mayweather. It's not just the boxers. You got the boxers. They think they Mayweather. They all want undefeated records and stupid shit like that. They all want. They all think they're gonna um hit 2 million marks, and they think like boxing you're gonna have 1 million fans. They think they're gonna get these million pay-per-views. But it's the fans. It's the idiots on YouTube that's worse than the boxers. It's the idiots on YouTube that's way worse than the boxers. They counting pay-per-views, bro. I mean, you got these idiots right now. They couldn't wait to they hear about not they didn't care about the fight. I mean, half of them didn't even order the fight about with Devin Haney and Regis. They didn't care about the fight. They didn't care about who won the fight. They didn't care about the championship, the belt on the line. They didn't care about that. You know what they cared about? You know what they talked about? The pay-per-view numbers. As if they making money from the pay-per-view. This is how ridiculous these idiots is. They didn't have no clue of what the hell they talking about. Now listen, boxing. I'm gonna say this real quick and then I'm gonna end this. Boxing only has so many fans. These are just facts. There is no casual fan buying a pay-per-view. The Mike Tyson days, the De La Hoya days is over. There is not everybody buying the pay-per-view to watch a fight. Nobody's doing that. They got football, they got basketball, and these kids, they don't watch sports. You see what I'm saying? These kids, they entertain soccer or football, but I'm gonna call it soccer. They entertain that because kids on YouTube is talking about it. But these kids is not sports fans. No, you don't get no real diehard sports fans, and you definitely don't got no real diehard boxing fans. Most boxing fans is honestly just the boxing community that you see on YouTube. Old school guys, middle aged guys that watched the sport in the '90s. Those are the last of the dying breed of fight fans. And most of those guys now watching the UFC because they tired of the idiots in boxing. They just tired of the nonsense in boxing. So they stick to watching basketball, football, or they're watching UFC where they don't have to deal with A side, B side nonsense talk. So it's only a select audience. It's only a limited amount of audience that's even watching boxing. So everybody that's watching the Tank Davis fights, it's the same people that is ordering a Devin Haney fight. They're the same people that's ordering a Deontay Wilder Anthony Joshua fight. They're the same people. Now, if Floyd Mayweather is fighting, then Floyd Mayweather somehow branched out past the boxing world because Floyd Mayweather then went on WWE. Floyd Mayweather been on his daughter is dating a rapper. Floyd Mayweather had went to jail. All type. Floyd Mayweather been on TMZ. Floyd Mayweather has been everywhere, and he fought De La Hoya and all of them. So you know, he talked to actors. He be in Hollywood. Floyd Mayweather promoted himself all over. So he have a larger fan base that translate to boxing. But Floyd Mayweather, when he do box, it's an event for celebrities to come to. So Floyd Mayweather is pretty much the last guy that could do that. Floyd Mayweather, he could win, lose, or draw. He's going to sell. He's going to sell tickets. He's going to sell out because his fan base is greater than the regular fan base that's already in boxing. Everybody in boxing got to fight for that audience. Floyd Mayweather got an audience that's outside of that audience that's willing to pay for his fights or pay for a pay per view. That's why Floyd Mayweather. That's why Floyd Mayweather fight these. He do these exhibition bouts. Why? Because he could fight celebrities. He could fight YouTubers and all that type of shit and make the same amount of money if he was fighting in a regular fight. You know, a regular ranked bout. So none of these, all these boxers think they Floyd Mayweather. That's what's that's what's hilarious about it. These guys think they Floyd Mayweather. They not. So all this talking about pay per view numbers and all that, I think that's just a cop out. If you sit up here talking about pay per view numbers because you got 100,000 pay per views, come on, come on, come on, 100,000 pay per views when the Super Bowl got like 40 million people filling the stadium. You know what I'm saying? The NBA got like 10 million people on average every night. Remember, NBA play basketball almost every day. So the NBA each day they got at least 10 million people, and they to sit courtside or sit in the front, you got to pay 50 million. I mean $50,000. Huh? 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 You guys think people like you guys like you don't have clout like that. You see what I'm saying? So all of this that they be talking about with these numbers is ridiculous, man. So with that, man, I'm gonna go ahead and end this, man. I hope y'all got something out of that. Um, but yeah, like I said, I'm about to start back talking boxing again. Do a little bit of reaction videos. I got a few more videos that I gotta do. Um, and I really don't want to turn this into a boxing channel, but I love boxing. I'm one of those guys that do order pay per views, and I'm going to order this pay per view because I really want to see what's going to happen and see what's going to take place. Um, and I hope this fight happen, man. Like I really do. I hope this fight happen. I hope Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder finally get it on. Get it on. I really don't want them to get any older for this fight. I hope this fight happen next. I hope this could happen in the summertime, at least in the summer, man. I mean, even if Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder both lose, I want this fight to happen. I just want them to just get the shit over with, man. And I think this fight should happen at least one or two times too. You see what I'm saying? I think this will be the type of fight where they could fight twice. So at least three times. This probably could be another trilogy, this fight. So it's so much that they can do with this fight. It's so much that they could have did with this fight back then. Even if they would have fought back then, you could have had Deontay Wilder and AJ2 and Deontay Wilder and AJ3. They would have made so much money. It probably would have even brought back boxing. Everybody know boxing is about the heavyweights. All that Floyd Mayweather talk, him talking about some, oh yeah, the little guys, and all this. Boxing is about the heavyweights. You see what happened in boxing when the heavyweights was not selling. You see what I'm saying? Why? Because boxing is about the heavyweights. Always been, always have been, always will be about the heavyweights. Period. If boxing don't have powerful heavyweights or good fights in the heavyweight division, then boxing is dead. And I said it. Period. These are just facts. I don't care what Floyd Mayweather talk about. I don't care what Sugar Ray Leonard talks about. I don't care about none of what none of them guys talk about. if the heavyweights is not in good condition, if the heavyweight division is not in good condition and there's no good fights happening there, then boxing is dead. It is not the UFC. Sorry. But with that, I'm gonna be up out of here. Peace. It's regular Joe. Please like and subscribe, man. Thank you.